Hey guys, hope you're well. My name is Rob. Welcome to Kinetic Rugby League. In this video, I'll be giving you my Pacific Championships Week 3 predictions. So last week, I got both games correct again. So that's 4 out of 4 in total for this tournament so far. We've got 2 brand new games to talk about this week. I'll go through the team lists that have been announced and then talk about the game a little bit as well and give my predictions at the end of each game. So let's crack on with the first game of this week. Kicking things off, we have New Zealand taking on Tonga, starting with the team list of New Zealand. In the backs, you have Keanu Kinney, Jermaine Asako, Matthew Timoko, Peteku, Will Warbrick, Chance Nicol-Klokstad and Sean Johnson. In the forwards is James Fisher-Harris, Phoenix Crosland, Joseph Tarpany, Isaiah Papali'i, Scott Sorensen and Nalfahu White. On the bench is Cody Nikarima, Griffin Neame, Marata Niokore and Leo Thompson. In the reserves is Aaron Clark, Jordan Ricky, Casey McLean and Trent Tolau. Moving on to Tonga's lineup, in the backs they have Lehi Opoate, Daniel Tupou, Moses Suli, Paul Alamati, Sione Katoa, Tuilo Lehea and Isaiah Katoa. In the forwards is Adam Fanua-Blake, Saliva Havili, Felice Kafusi, Hamal Olakuatu, Eliezer Katoa and Jason Tamalolo. On the bench is Sonny Luke, Sitili Tupanua, Taniela Paseka and Siwa Wong. And in the reserves is Tolu Kula, Kefu Finifeiwaki, Isaiah Ayongi and Kian Kalamatangi. Starting with New Zealand, I absolutely love the choice of lineup here. I actually think it's really nicely done. So starting with the backs first of all, the backs are completely unchanged. Now, as much as the actual performance out of, say, the links between Johnson and Kinney on some occasions, even with Papali'i down the right edge, were a little bit off, I like that they've kept the same back line. There aren't too many changes they could make anyway, so it was going to stay relatively the same, but I like that they haven't tampered with it in any way. They haven't started Nikarima, moved Chance Nicol-Klokstad to number 1. They've kept it exactly as it should be. They haven't put Crosland at 6 or 7. It's exactly as it was. The reason why I love this is because they're your playmakers. They need to get more time together. They need to learn to develop and work as a unit together better than they were against Australia. It's a great opportunity to take what they've learned, take it into this week. But in terms of the changes to the forwards, I love the changes that they've made. I absolutely do. So, first of all, Fisher, Harris and Tarpany together, starting 8 and 10, perfect. They are your long-distance players. They're going to get you 80 minutes if you need them to. Obviously, you don't want them to because they're coming up against a massive forward pack in Tonga, but if you want any two, Fisher, Harris and Tarpany are not a bad pair to have doing 80 minutes if you need them to. But then, you look at the relief they've got. First of all, they've got Nalfahu White in the 13 role. He's going to take a lot of carries as though he's a prop forward, and Tarpany can always take on that 13 role himself as the man that spreads the ball across the field as they attack from left to right and right to left. But then the relief coming off the bench, your typical 1 hooker and your 3 prop forwards. And these 3 prop forwards are massive. Griffin Neame, I thought was excellent against Australia. He was actually brilliant. Marata Niokore had some massive hits, and then Leo Thompson coming in with some big hits himself as relief off the bench. This is perfect. Your 2 long mileage guys starting the game, getting as many minutes as possible, and then those 3 big hitters to bring on is perfectly done. So it's consistency in the backs to build rapport with each other across this tournament, and then the forwards, perfect. They lay the groundwork with Fisher, Harris and Tarpany, and then those 3 bulldozers coming off the bench is just perfectly done. And then Cody Nikarima can come on hopefully a little bit earlier and have a bit more influence. I would still like him to start, but in terms of the context of this game, I'm okay with keeping consistency with the backs. The forwards were the best thing about New Zealand last week. The connections, they really need to improve on with Sean Johnson and Kinney. And, with Papali'i, it was fine, just a few passes propped up to him. But if they get a few more links with Kinney and they go through Chance Nicol-Klokstad more down the left-hand side, New Zealand will look a lot more dangerous and hopefully they figure something out down the left-hand side. But moving on to Tonga, the circumstances this week could work out perfectly. I really like the situation that they could be in, so it makes it interesting. First of all, they've already had a game together, so any potential rust, they've got it out of the way at this point. So they've had a full 80 minutes together to figure out what they want to try and look like. And then they get a week off. So a chance to go into this game really fresh, and they get to observe exactly what New Zealand want to do. Now, New Zealand might try and change a couple things, But in the space of a week, there can't be drastic changes. So what New Zealand looked like against Australia is pretty much going to be a rough style, a rough template of what they'll try and do against Tonga. So Tonga can take that week off, fresh, already have the rust out of the way from the first game against Australia, go into this with fresh eyes, fresh bodies, and can really take the fight to New Zealand and have an idea on what their game plan is going to be and how they intend to attack. So the circumstance for Tonga, I think, is really good going into this. Now, they do have to keep the forwards of New Zealand moving constantly. They've got a big forward pack. Both sides do, I should say. Tonga's forward pack is massive, especially with Fanua Blake, Kafusi, Taumalolo, Tupanua, Paseka and Wong. It's massive, absolutely huge. You need to use that to your advantage and use anything you can to get those post-contact meters, quick play the ball through the middle, and that is by tiring the forward pack of New Zealand. So even though you've got two guys that can do long minutes, the relief is going to be important to really slow down. So if you keep them moving, so those long kicks from Isaiah Katoa, good kick chases, pinning them back inside their own 10 and 20, even moving the ball early in the tackle count, so you gain those extra meters when you attack towards the edges, make the props have to turn back and run just to get back the extra 10 meters, make them do it constantly, time and time again, wear them down over and over and over again, make the forwards of New Zealand tired as hell. And I think that's the best way they're going to beat them. I think in terms of organisation, it does lean towards New Zealand for me. I think I trust them a lot more. I trust Sean Johnson more, Keanu Kinney more than I do like the Lolohea and Katoa partnership. They can still certainly do some good things, but I do trust New Zealand's spine a little bit more. And with Cody Nikarima to be able to take on some responsibility, as well as Phoenix Crosland if he has to, it just makes me trust them more. So I think there's more pressure put onto Tonga to be perfect, and it's going to be difficult to do, especially with all these quality players that New Zealand have on offer. So to come to a prediction for this game, I'm going to go with New Zealand 24, Tonga 18. Next up, we have Papua New Guinea taking on the Cook Islands, starting with the team list of PNG. In the backs, they have Nenny McDonald, Elijah Roltinga, Robert Mathias, Roderick Tai, Robert Darby, Cal Labour, and Lachlan Lamb. In the forwards is Valentine Richard, Judah Rimbu, Jacob Alikwinki, Dan Russell, Jeremiah Simbikin, and Jack DeBellin. On the bench is Liam Horn, Koso Bandi, Sylvester Namo, and Ila Alu. In the reserves is Sonny Weibo, Maria, Benji Cott, and Finley Blair. Moving on to the team list of the Cook Islands, in the backs they have Issa Maoka, Stephen Masters, Ruben Rennie, Delahia Wigmore, Rickson Andrew, Brad Takirangi, and Eason Masters. In the forwards is Tepe Moroa, Rua Ngatakara, David Moale, Zane Tetavano, Ruben Porter, and Pride Peterson Rabati. On the bench is Kobe Torero, Mason Teague, Justin Makareri, and Junior Teroy. In the reserves is Reece Dakin, Malachi Morgan, Makesi Makatoa, and Alex Glenn. Starting with PNG going into this game, I think Nenny McDonald looked really exciting last week against Fiji. I wasn't too sure what he was going to be able to provide. I hadn't really seen him as a fullback, only at centre for Salford Red Devils in Super League. But at fullback, he looked pretty excited, made some really good decisions, and solo efforts I thought were great. So Nenny McDonald at fullback looked pretty damn good. Then you've got the Lamb and Labert partnership at 6 and 7. They can both take on the kicking game, which is really important. They're not kind of shoehorned to one side of the field. They can both take on that responsibility and take control on both sides of the field, which is really important. The back line looked really strong defensively, and a lot of the carries out the back were really important, gave the forwards a lot of relief. My only complaint about the back line, and this is disappointing as a Warrington Wolves fan, is Roderick Tai, I think, was kept pretty quiet. In one-on-ones against Wonga Blake, I think he was shut down a little bit too easily, and some of the carries out the back were maybe not as effective as some of the others, or not as effective as we have seen in Super League for Warrington this season. So, as a Warrington fan, and somebody that cheers on PNG internationals, I would like to see a better performance out of Roderick Tai, and I hope we see that. Rimbu and Horn is going to be interesting, because what I think they have a good balance with at the moment is, of course, DeBellin's in the 13 role, but what they can do is they can keep DeBellin on. He can take the prop forward role as well if needs be, whilst the 13 role. Liam Horn can be on at the same time as Rimbu. They can swap 9 and 13, whilst DeBellin takes on the prop forward role as well. So they can really start to mix things around. They can have like 2 locks on at the same time, and also 2 hookers. There's a good overlap that Liam Horn has, so he can be the 13 and the 9, whilst Rimbu is also a 9 and de Bellin's also a 13. Might sound a bit confusing, but they kind of seem to make it work. It looks right. They just picked up the role that they need to pick up. If Rimbu's not there, then you've got Liam Horn. If de Bellin's not in the centre, like he's out of position, maybe he took a carry, Liam Horn's also there. You can swap them around in different ways, and I think that worked out very nicely against Fiji. So something to look forward to in this game as well, seeing how they develop that. Talking about the Cook Islands a little bit, I think they need to clean up the mistakes because PNG will punish them. They have to be really, really clean, really professional with the ball. The forwards worked extremely hard, but they've got to get quick play the balls. They've got to get the post-contact meters and quick play the balls. That is so important because if PNG get the dominance in the ruck, slow down the play the balls, they'll get set, and a set PNG defensive line is just going to be too strong defensively for what Cook Islands can really offer with their attacking structures. So they need quick play the balls. But to talk about those attacking structures, they need to find a more effective structure to play against this PNG team. I don't know specifically what they could change. The shapes may be a little bit different. The kind of attacking styles that they have. Maybe throw some different things in there. Chip kicks over the top. Just get a little bit weird. Be a bit creative. Whilst maintaining a strong and reliable kicking game. That's so important from Brad Takirangi. Issa Masters isn't really going to take on that responsibility much, if at all. So Takirangi needs to take on a really strong, really reliable kicking game with a good kick chase off the back of it from the centres, wingers and second rowers. They must get the basics right on pretty much all occasions, because if they turn over the ball inside their own 10 or 20, even 30, anywhere in their own half or just further back on the field, PNG is going to cut them to shreds, because I think the pace that they play with an attack, the creativity that they've got is just on a completely different level. So Cook Islands are outmanned a little bit in this one, but if they want to win, they've just got to be reliable, control the things that they can control as well as possible, and just if PNG are not on it, if they keep on making mistakes, then you can punish them. But you've got to be clean yourselves with a good kicking game and make sure that you get the quick play the balls through the middle and slow down the progress from PNG, because they were really good in the forwards against Fiji last time out. So to get to a prediction for this game, I'm going to go with Papua New Guinea 48, Cook Islands 12. So that is going to be it for this predictions video. If you've got your own, please do let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to support this channel in any way, you could become a member for as little as £1. Just click the join button below this video. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. It does help to get the video out there to more people. And subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more Rugby League content. But that is going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.